Let me know if y'all can hear me all right. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Does the camera look good too? On my end, it looks like it's starting and stopping a bunch. It's a little laggy. Yeah, I think that's just my terrible internet. I could just go no camera and do the avatar. I mean, I don't know. Do y'all like the camera even if it's laggy? All right, I'll just keep the camera up. Going through, if y'all have any questions, y'all can go ahead and ask. We have a little bit of time until the draft actually starts, about 15 more minutes till we're good to go. And I'm super excited because from what I've been hearing, there might be some players who we didn't know about or going to be some surprises, last minute pickups. So that's always fun. I know Brandon Silvers is in the draft pool, an AAF guy and XFL guy. By the way, is anyone in here from AAF zone all the way back from then? I know this is an impromptu stream, so there may not be too many people from those days, but I've still got the Alliance of American Football helmet. Still have some gear. You notice on my right shoulder, no, my left shoulder, got the Mike Bercovici jersey back there. It's Arizona State. I got that when I found out he was in the league, though. The Arizona State jersey seemed cooler. Still waiting. It's 47, so we got a little bit more time until the draft starts. Y'all can go ahead and comment what teams you're interested or what players y'all might want to see. I'll try to dive into your questions and your comments. I'll scroll back up to see if I missed any. Okay, Kyle, so you asked what is the supplemental draft? So basically, the USFL, they had a previous draft where every player was drafted by round, and each round had a designated position. So, like for the first round of the draft, you could only get quarterbacks. And then for the ninth round of the draft, you could only get quarterbacks. And then for other rounds, you could only get receivers, or things like that. But the USFL pool, I think it got a lot of attention, especially on Twitter during and after the draft. So they had some other guys sign on and get interested in the USFL, maybe some really good talent that we just don't know about yet. So the USFL is doing this supplemental draft to get some of the stragglers in. And this is not by position. This is straight up drafting the best players you think you can get. So that's why I'm actually really excited, because it was hard to tell like who's the best player when all the rounds are kind of designated. So this will be really fun because you're going to see the talent. Gilbert, you asked, is Darnell Pumphrey playing in the USFL? I don't know, but I would hope. I loved watching him. He seems like a guy that is destined for spring football breakout. Is USFL bigger than XFL? What's better in your guys' opinion? I think that the XFL quality of play will probably be better to be totally honest, but they're really similar. I think the XFL marketing was just incredible. I mean, they won multiple awards, things like that. So it's really hard to beat the marketing of the XFL. I will tell you that. They were incredible getting people to games and really making just the product fun. It may not have been the level of play, but they also had really excellent coaching. So that's another good thing. And the quarterback play was getting really like trying to think by the time everything rolled around in the league, unfortunately folded, the quarterback play was getting really good across all levels, in my opinion, because you had PJ and you had Luis Perez over with the Guardians. Cardell was hit or miss. Cardell Jones with the defenders. Josh Johnson with the Wildcats. That was a team that I felt like was getting hot. And then it also the Vipers had a little good quarterback competition going on with Cornelius, who was Taylor Cornelius was starting to do his thing, but you also had Quentin Flowers, so that was awesome to see. Then, of course, Jordan Teamu, the star of the USFL, so we'll see him again. But honestly, the quarterback, like the crop, when I compared it to my videos reacting to the AAF quarterback crop and the XFL quarterback crop, it's honestly pretty comparable and pretty easy. Easily comparable because they're both relatively the same. A lot of them overlap. I think that it'll be better than the AAF. So I'm excited for that. I'm really excited to see some of these coaches because some of these coaches, I think that this we could have a really good coaching class. Okay, catching up on some questions. Any chance Blake Sims finds a home with the Stallions? Well, Blake Sims was supposed to be one of the guys for the Alliance of American Football and the Birmingham Iron. Quick funny story. We got 8 minutes before the draft starts. I play guitar, and I was playing guitar at a bar, and Blake Sims was there. And I think it was after the league had folded, but he liked my music. I thought that was pretty funny. But Blake Sims didn't really have much luck with the Iron. What's the difference between XFL and USFL? I pretty much answered that, but I would say the XFL's marketing was extraordinary. Not taking anything away from the USFL, but the marketing with the XFL was just different. It was just different. All right, 7 minutes till the draft. So this is going to be really, really fun to see. I really cannot wait to see the players that we get. I really hope a guy like John Ross gets picked up. John Ross. Excuse me, Rashad Ross. There are some players that I thought would be drafted but weren't. Jeremiah Spicer, he has a really, really cool story. I connected with him on Twitter, reposted a lot of his stuff. I hope he gets drafted. See if we have any more questions. What's going to happen with the XFL player pools? USFL taking majority of their players. It's going to be interesting to see the competition between the two leagues and their players because it's definitely it's going to get to a point where the XFL and the USFL are going to have to sell the players on why their league is better. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I think that the USFL with the NFTs, if they have players who can market their NFTs and make more money, then that could be a huge attraction. But at the end of the day, whichever league pays the players more is going to get those players. Think Todd Gurley has a second chance? Well, I know that doesn't Todd Gurley have arthritis? That is really tough because I love Todd Gurley. He was actually on my fantasy team when he was with the Rams. I don't know. That one's going to be tough overcoming arthritis. Michigan Panthers fan living in Ohio. Maybe Ohio. We got the Pittsburgh Maulers. So, Tom, I'm curious. Why don't you go for the Maulers if you're from Ohio? Why are you going for the Panthers? Is it one of the quarterbacks? Maybe got interest there. Doesn't really make much sense unless you're a Michigan fan. All right, 5 minutes until the draft starts. We got 5 more minutes. I'll go ahead and pull up the USFL Twitter and the draft order. So it looks like the New Orleans Breakers are going first. We'll go ahead and get the Breakers background up in here because the Breakers are basically on the clock. Let me pull up the full entire draft details real quick. I got a email from the USFL. I'm also, guys, this is going to be really cool. I'll tell you what, the content coming up for y'all, especially in the camps, it's going to be really, really awesome. I guess I'll go ahead and tell y'all if y'all are interested, but I'm going to be at the camps in Birmingham trying to get interviews with players. I'll actually, for the first time ever, going into the AAF and the XFL, doing predictions was hard because you really don't know what these teams are made of. You don't know really who's starting until players are on the field. Well, when I'm going to be at camps, I'm going to actually see these competitions. I'm actually going to see firsthand what teams look really good and what teams don't. I'm going to be able to see like who has the best offensive line, things like that. And I have a really nice camera that I've invested in. Trying to get some interviews, things like that. So I hope y'all are excited for that. I'm really excited in Birmingham. Gonna try and visit all the teams, and we're gonna get a lot of content out. Okay, looks like we had a couple of questions. What are my thoughts on the USFL NFTs? So NFTs are confusing. Draft starting in 2 minutes. I am posting a video about it tomorrow. I've been working on a video today because NFTs, the definition of people don't understand what NFTs are. That's what I'll say first. That's kind of teasing what my video is about. But people overcomplicate them and make them harder and more confusing than they have to be. And I think that NFTs are good for the USFL. They're not going to hurt the USFL in any way unless they're spending like tons of money on it. But yeah, fan controlled football did NFTs. So I don't like NFT art as much as I like NFT fan experiences, NFT things like that. So there's a difference between NFT arts, like there are categories of NFTs. For example, when you buy a ticket to a game, that is an NFT. If it's like online, like on Vivid Seats or something like that, then your ticket that you have is unique to you. You have the code, and only you can experience that. But you can also trade that ticket away, sell that ticket away. So, like, that's a good example of an NFT. Or with the Premier Lacrosse League, they're the first ever league or organization to do an NFT where they called it the owner's pass, and basically everyone would bid, and the winner of that bid basically became an owner of their favorite team. They got tickets to every game. They got a ring if their team won. They they got to have calls and meet the team, meet the owners of the league, all the things like that. And actually, fan controlled football did that and fundraised tons of money. So that's going to be interesting. And there's also going to be like NFT rewards from what I've read. So that could be cool. And it looks like the Breakers are officially on the clock. So we'll see when that pick comes in. Will it be Brandon Silvers? But they got Slaughter, so I don't know. I saw someone commenting the hashtags Slaughterhouse. By the way, does anyone know how to pronounce his last name? Is it Slaughter or Slaughter? Either way, he's a beast, and I cannot wait to see him on the field. Yeah, I saw the news about the Wild Aces, Joseph. Maybe one day I'll own a team with fan controlled football. Probably got to get a lot more subscribers to do that. That would be cool. Slaughter. Thank you, Leroy. Leroy Will Jones. It's tough pronouncing names, especially when you get criticized for it. Dang, we got a good amount of people for this being like literally last minute with no marketing and no real heads up. I know there are a bunch of other guys. I always feel bad live streaming because like that's not really my thing. And all the other USFL and other YouTubers live stream and they have like a big audience, so I don't want to like take away from them, but I thought this would just be fun. And I was planning on doing my live stream before I heard they were doing it, so I just decided to do it. By the way, is anyone going to the first game? Pick's still not in yet for me. It's 6:02, so we should be getting the pick. It's 6:03. Do y'all see the pick? Because I don't. I'm probably going to the playoffs. Playoffs are on my birthday, so I think that would be a fun birthday. Okay, we're still waiting on the first pick. Oh my gosh, Breakers. Making us wait. Where can you watch the draft? They are not televising the draft. They don't do that. So basically everyone is live streaming and just waiting for the picks to come in through Twitter. I'll be going to the championship game if it's a quality league. I think that is a safe bet. Also, sadly, judging on the basically how spring football has gone, I mean, they knew you were streaming and wanted to make you wait. Draft is not televised. Yes. Okay. Well, the Breakers haven't submitted their pick yet. So don't know. I mean, it's 6:05. Come on, New Orleans. Am I missing something? Or am I just okay? Okay. The Breakers are now on the clock. That's annoying. USFL fashionably late. They started 5 minutes after they told us they would start. What a tragedy. All right. Breakers are on the clock. We should be getting the pick soon enough. Under 2 minutes. Still waiting. They should draft the best wide receiver available for Sloter. I should probably pull up the full rosters so we can. Yeah, that's also the hard thing with leagues like this is some of these players haven't played in a long time. Just don't know how good they are. Okay, and we have our first pick of the supplemental draft. Tight end Justin Johnson from Mississippi State. Now, that is a name I have honestly not heard, but SEC school. I'm sure I have a bunch of Mississippi State fan friends. Pull him up real quick. 6'2", 190 coming into college from Birmingham, Alabama, too. Well, congratulations to Justin Johnson. So that's an interesting pick. Going to pull up the USFL rosters real quick and see how that lines up. Can never go wrong with a solid tight end. Okay, you got a push notification from the Fox Sports app. Geez, you're ahead of me. I don't even have the Fox Sports app. Okay, next team up is Pittsburgh. So I heard or I saw that we had some Pittsburgh Mauler fans. Hey, Cringeosaurus. NFTs are good. Now, NFT art, I'll agree with you. I'm not a fan of. But other NFTs are good. All right, the Maulers are on the clock now. Still waiting. I'm going to go ahead and download the Fox Sports app so I can get all the notifications. I will say this: the most entertaining draft ever, honestly, was the quarterback draft for the Alliance of American Football. That was awesome. All right, I have the pick by pick thing up now. Sweet. All right, Maulers should have their pick in. USFL team rosters. So looking at the Breakers real quick, I know that there might be a pick in right now, but they already had a tight end in Salvatore Canella. I know he is from Auburn. I always thought he was actually pretty good, but it looks like, okay, that makes sense because he was the only tight end drafted. So that's their second tight end. So that pick makes so much sense if you are the Breakers. Because you definitely need to have more than one tight end. So drafting to their strengths. It's interesting that a tight end was drafted first, too. See, Justin Johnson. I'm going to Justin Johnson's Twitter to see if I can see more about him. Okay, so it looks like he graduated in 2019. And he retweeted the supplemental draft, so congrats to him. Refreshing because it's 6:12, and that means we should have the pick for the Pittsburgh Maulers. Dun, 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 dun. Ethan Westbrook, West Texas A&M, a defensive tackle. That is not a name I'm familiar with. Looks like he played for the Raiders. So I'll go to the Pittsburgh Maulers, look at their roster real quick and see how deep they are. At defensive tackle, Jeremiah Farms Jr., from Wisconsin, and Owen Roberts from San. So that is their fourth defensive tackle. Looks like the Maulers want to go defensive here. Start off. Y'all go ahead and comment any players that y'all would like to see get drafted. Trying to find information on him. Oh, the Stallions pick is in. I'm refreshing. Close some windows. Stallions are my team. Please be someone good. Oh, the Gamblers and the Stallions. Okay. Offensive tackle, Ryan Williams Pope. So we'll cover him in a second from San Diego State. But we also had the Gamblers pick a defensive tackle. So line play, it seems, has been the most important so far. And that makes sense, guys. Without an offensive line, without a defensive line, he can't really do much. And from somebody, who has watched spring league football across multiple different leagues, offensive line play is so important because there are some really, really bad offensive lines. If you watch the Alliance of American Football, that was maybe a little bit more prominent. Think about the Atlanta Legends. Remember them just being hot garbage to watch. I really felt bad watching them. There are a couple other teams, but O-line play is something that is just crucial at all levels of football, but especially spring football, because some of these spring football lines, it's just really hard to, when you really don't have much of a camp and years of that offense trying to gel, the defenses are always going to be ahead. So early in the USFL, we're probably going to see the defenses ahead of the offenses. That's just how it is. I know that may not be what people necessarily want to hear, but that is the truth. When you have these spring leagues, the offensive lines start off rough. I'm going to turn on a light real quick up here. It's getting kind of dark. Okay, I'm refreshing real quick. It looks like these picks are actually flying off the shelf. Yep. Okay, another offensive tackle from Northwestern, Gunnar Vogel. And the New Jersey Generals made a pick at defensive end, Yashawn Rinder. See if I can pull up some highlights or maybe even share my screen with y'all so y'all can see pictures of these players, kind of get an idea. Tyshawn Rinder from Middle Tennessee, MTSU. See if I can find some of his highlights. So 2020, pretty young, going into the NFL draft. He's someone we can definitely pull up highlights on, I guess. It'll let me share. I'm gonna try to screen share this for y'all real quick and get it on the Chrome tab. Tyshawn Rinder. This might be super
prices
laggy.
in
Never
local
done this
currencies.
before, but
what's up, guys? Welcome back to Draft Genius. Today we're talking about Middle Tennessee's Tyshawn Rinder. Now, Rinder has gotten a lot of buzz over the last few weeks after news broke of Bill Belichick standing in the rain, skipping the NFL Combine to watch Rinder, who wasn't invited, work out in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The 6'4" defensive end in no way stands out more than some of the other defensive linemen in this year's draft, but Rinder is one of those guys who has
Twitter. See if we have any more updates.
Potential to be a great talent, mainly because of two things: effort and athleticism. He finished his 2019 season with 36 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Numbers don't amaze you at first glance, but I think I know why Belichick made the trip. This kid is a freak athlete who's just getting started, and in my opinion, will play in the NFL standing up. Watching Rinder's film, it's clear he has a nose for the ball and doesn't stop until the echo of the whistle. While he's had some success rushing the passer, I believe his true potential is at linebacker. Outside most likely, but inside.
Jerron Jones played in the XFL with
speed,
the New York Guardians.
On his ability to read the guards.
Dude was nice at Notre Dame too.
Rinder is simply a headhunter, and despite playing in the CUSA, has still been able to gain notice from the league.
I'm gonna remove this. All right. Let me know if you can hear me now. But Jerron Jones is a great pick for the Tampa Bay Bandits. Go ahead, Mark that down. Offense tackle. Played defense tackle at Notre Dame. Was a dog at Notre Dame. And he was also really good, from what I remember, with the New York Guardians, although they had trouble protecting the quarterback from time to time, from what I remember. Their offense was like a little bit hit or miss. They depended a lot on like their defense. But love that pick. Warren Saba, defensive back. In a lot of these names, like, I can act like I know what I'm talking about, but we are in the supplemental part. Some of these guys are really young, in fact, and a lot of them are like just coming out of college. So Warren Saba, okay. He played in 2021. So like a lot of these guys are like really young. 4 interceptions. This is a Michigan Panthers guy. I should probably change my background. Tyshawn Render was a steal. I'll take your word for it. I gotta look up his highlights. I was trying to stream the highlights, but I think y'all couldn't hear me when I was streaming it. So new to streaming. 32 tackles, 4 interceptions. It's always good to get these young guys. And that's kind of what the USFL is doing. They've been really targeting young guys. How many games did he play? Okay. 2, 3, 4, 6. All right, checking for some updates real quick on Twitter. Okay, I want to look up, you said Tyshawn Render. Was a dog. Okay, so he didn't get a great chance with the Dolphins, is what you're saying. So, any Generals fans excited in here about a defensive end? Tyshawn Render. Let me go look at his page real quick on ESPN. Undrafted free agent in 2020. So he's okay. He saw active roster time. Interesting. Then a reserve. Okay, cool. This is a guy who was on an active NFL roster like not too long ago. So that's going to be, looks like to be a solid pick. Let's see, is 6'4", 245 from Georgia. Okay, waiting on the next picks. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Not everybody has these statistics. Some people are just really gifted. You just have to really look at the film. I've always been a person, so I used to be really like into stats, things like that, like Pro Football Focus. Y'all know what Pro Football Focus is? I don't hate Pro Football Focus, but when you base everything on stats, it almost feels like you don't really like watch the games. I feel like there's a point where, numbers are deceiving and they kind of do lie. So I'm definitely, I also wish, that's another thing, we don't get all 22 film with a lot of these players. We kind of just have to look at either highlights or statistics, especially if they're from a small school. And you can't really judge a player based on highlights. You got to judge them on all of their film. You got to see their lowlights to see what they make mistakes on. And unfortunately, A lot of people just don't have the ability to get the all 22 film like that. You know, it's tough with college film. It's like really, really hard to get. And then guys who've played in the XFL or AAF, I don't even know how to get game film from them or from those leagues. That's really tough. How do I feel about the USFL NFTs? Had a lot of those questions. I don't hate them, but I don't love what they could turn into. I have a big video coming out tomorrow about it, but NFTs are very confused. A lot of people think that NFTs can only be these like digital artworks or videos on the internet. It's not all an NFT is. An NFT is, are the stars picking? I saw stars. By the way, we had a pick from southeastern Louisiana. Looks like an offensive guard for the Michigan Panthers. Protecting the quarterback. That's the most important thing along the offensive line. I cannot pronounce his name, though. Maye Tuhima. But the NFTs, so like when you buy a ticket to a concert or a game online and you have it scanned through your phone, that's technically in many cases an NFT because you have an experience that you purchased that you can trade or sell. But that's a good. Oh, whoa. Okay. Bandits. Bandits so far, just off name recognition. Another pick is in. Tampa Bay Bandits select Quentin Meeks from Stanford. Wow. That is a pick that you love to see. A name I haven't heard in a while, but 100% a name that I think a lot of people would recognize. What happened to Quentin Meeks? Because he's bounced around the National Football League for a pretty long time. Undrafted free agent. Jags bounced around. Chargers back to the Jags. Signed with the Titans in May of 2021. Waived in July of 2021. So Quentin Meeks is an excellent pickup, I think. Maybe he was a guy. Okay, we have another pick, Philly Stars. I know we have some Stars fans in here. Edge/fullback. I love this. If they use, wait, am I reading that right? Okay, so Adam Rodriguez. Let's look it up and see if that's true. If true, there's a special place in my heart for fullbacks. Let's see. Adam Rodriguez from Weber State. Just says defensive end on here. The USFL is not having an app. It's just all run through the Fox Sports app. Christian Tutt. Okay, Generals fans. Cornerback and return man. And he's also like fairly young. I think we're going to start seeing more skill players, by the way, now that we got some of the tackles and guards picked, because they were definitely a priority, because that's like the position you want to have most competition and depth at. And it looks like he's also listed as a return man. Christian Tutt from Auburn. Name sounds familiar. can look up real quick and see kind of what he's all about. Defensive back, return man. Well, anytime you have a return man, did the Generals not already have one? Return man? Maybe not. Okay, so we also have another couple other picks coming in. Right after I say that, it looks like we have a hybrid guy. So Christian Sokoli from Buffalo, offensive guard, defensive end. We play both sides of the ball, if I'm reading that correctly. So the Houston Gamblers shying away from the skill positions. Gamblers fans, y'all comment. How you feeling? How you feeling so far? Okay, and we have another pick. JoJo Tillery from Walford goes to the Birmingham Stallions. Safety. So I'm going to look him up real quick. See what we can find about JoJo Tillery. It's like opening a gift on Christmas. A lot of times these drafts. JoJo Tillery. 5'11", 205 pounds. He's 24 years old. 27 starts as a safety for Wofford. Go on his Instagram real quick. It looks like he played for the Titans. Don't know if that was maybe... Oh, he played for the Spring League. There you go. There is the connection, guys. The Spring League connection. But yeah, it looks like he played for the Titans too. So that's a common theme that we're going to see. A lot of these players played in the Spring League. Which roster, I'm curious, which roster do you think is the best so far? Try not to be fans about it. Try to give me your honest opinions. Like which team do you think has the best roster? Then I'll give you mine. I'll give you 2 reasons why. 2. Okay, we should be getting a pick in. Updating my phone. Because Stallions picked 3 minutes ago. Okay, so we see a lot of stars. A lot of Tampa Bay fans. Pick is in. Thank you. Keith Gibson from Mary Hardin Baylor. So Pittsburgh Maulers, you're getting yourself a cornerback and an athlete. Keith Gibson Jr. Y'all can keep commenting what teams you think are the best. Now, I'll go ahead and give you mine. I think it's between 2 teams. All right. I think that the Philly Stars are the best team. I'll go ahead and do it. I think that the Philly Stars are going to be the best. Couple reasons why. Just I love a lot of their picks, like everywhere. But Brian Scott's a dog. If you watch the Spring League, you would know. And paired with Andrus, I mean, they just came off of a championship. Their offense, at least in the beginning, is going to be 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Because when your quarterback and coach have been with each other for a long time and get each other, man, it's going to be nasty. And how about some of their wide receivers? Brennan Eagles, a guy who from Texas, who I think is going to be a beast. By the way, we have another pick in Breakers fans. Cornerback Keith Washington II from West Virginia. I'll get back to him and that pick in a minute. The wide receivers, I think, are pretty strong. Maybe not the best group as a whole, but they could be. But I love the pick of Brennan Eagles. Again, it all comes down to like the offensive line. If the offensive line can hold up, Tavon Coney, Notre Dame outside linebackers. Josh Banderas inside linebacker. I think it's going to be pretty solid. You also had Bradley Silv from, I believe he played for the Birmingham Iron, just a homer. And then Matt Mingle, one of the better kickers, I think, picked up in the draft. Kickers are people too. I think he was really strong. And then I would say maybe in contention, I'll go the Breakers. I'm here for the Slaughterhouse. And then I just felt like they had a bunch of other really great picks. Their wide receivers. In fact, this is the receiving room that I think is by far the best. Jonathan Adams. Go watch his highlights from Arkansas State. That's his thing, though. He had trouble, like you wouldn't believe by watching his highlights that he had trouble catching ball, a bit of inconsistency, but dude's got hands. Johnny Dixon, Sean Poindexter from Arizona, and Taywan Taylor, I think, could be huge. Sal Cannella at tight end. They just recently drafted another tight end. And how about my boy, who I think is going to be the best player in the USFL? And if he's not, because he was in my top 10 rankings, then I'll be in shame. But Davin Bellamy from Georgia. How do you get to the quarterback? Man, that's so important. And I mean, they got Davin Bellamy with that first pick. Jeez. Breakers are gonna be good. Do we have another pick in? Round 2. Let's get it. Y'all got me nervous. I thought I was going to be late to the draft. I was at the gym. I got a shower in, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I only have 10 minutes. So I raced down the highway back home. Currently looking up information on Keith Gibson real quick while we wait. Or wait, no. Keith Washington. Sorry. Last player in the secondary from West Virginia in the XFL, that was a dog. Kenny Robinson. Turned out pretty good. All right, New Orleans Saints. Last time we checked. Updating my phone real quick, seeing if we got any more picks. No, we don't. WVU. Let's view his highlights real quick. Cornerback. Pretty recent. I really need to get better internet for streaming. This is one reason why I don't stream. My internet is terrible here. 2020. Okay, so round 3 has started, and Bandit fans, you are on the clock. We go Bandits, Stars, Generals, Panthers, Breakers, Gamblers, Stallions, and then the Maulers. Do y'all even think a quarterback will be drafted in this whole thing? Honestly, I just don't know. Who will be the first quarterback drafted in the supplemental draft? Another offensive tackle, Lene Mayava from Arizona. Looks like a pretty recent picture. Oh, and then we also have Tampa Bay. So guard nose tackle Matthew Burrell Jr. from Sam Houston State. You're seeing the big nasties getting drafted. One by one, they are falling. USFL commercials have been on everywhere. That's one thing that the USFL had that I didn't think that the XFL really had. The commercials on like Fox, man. Those USFL commercials have been incredibly well done. Okay, we have another pick, guys. New Jersey Generals. Safety linebacker. It's not loading. Internet on my phone's now terrible. Okay, Mike Bell, Fresno State. Let's check him out. Generals fans, how we feeling? Okay, here we go. I'm just going to start pulling up the draft profiles of these players. Tight end alert. Michigan Panthers. Marcus Ball from Ohio State. Notice how I didn't say the Ohio State. Check out Marcus Ball real quick. On his 2018 NFL draft. Tight end. He finished Ohio State ranked as the number 9 tight end in receptions, number 7 in touchdowns, which he had 8 in program history. But they weren't, okay, well, they weren't really, okay, 55 catches. So Ohio State may not be known for the deepest tight ends. Strengths, able to post up defenders and hold them off to probably better. Weaknesses. Okay, so it looks like basically he may not be the best route runner, is from what I'm seeing, but looks like he's big, has long strides, has decent footwork. Long arms. So that could be good. It looks like he might be a size 6'3", 247 pounds. Yeah. So he posted a double-digit drop rate in his last 2 seasons. But that's why we have leagues like this to work on those things. So it looks like he's really athletic and he's got great agility. All right, waiting on the next pick to come in. They're 10 rounds. We'll see how long we go. If it goes for too long, we could play a game. I'll get off when a quarterback gets drafted. That could be fun if a quarterback gets drafted. What team have we not really put in the background? Ooh, I wonder if I can play my video in the background. That'd actually be kind of cool. Or does it just cut it off? We'll see. 1 second. Nah. All right. Oh, whoa. Okay, we have a running back. TJ Logan, North Carolina. That's a name that I do know. And a North Carolina guy going to Larry Fedora with the Breakers. Okay. TJ Logan, I know he's a name that like I actually recognize. And I feel like he was pretty good at North Carolina, if I'm not going to lie. The 5th round running back, that's not too bad. I honestly feel like the running backs in the USFL could maybe be the strength. Hot take here. Quarterbacks, I feel, are pretty even. Wide receivers, I really don't know. There's some guys who I did not expect to see in this draft. But I feel like the running backs could be pretty big. And if I remember correctly, Logan's like really fast. TJ Logan. So that'll be good. Okay, we had some other picks coming in. Malik Harris, defensive end from Incarnate Word, going to the Houston Gamblers fans. Can I get a hashtag all in? We also have a defensive end from IUP for the Birmingham Stallions, Dondrea Tillman. But right now we're talking about TJ Logan. He can also return it too. So I think that this is a really nice pick. I really like the TJ Logan. Try to pull up some of his numbers. Hasn't had much of a chance in the NFL. We'll go to NCAA. Look up. Yeah, Logan, I mean, he may not be a volume runner, but, you know, like in 2016, his last year in North Carolina, 29 catches, 244 yards, 3 TDs with a long of 46. And like in 2016, he had 2 touchdowns returned off kickoffs. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. He could definitely be a weapon for the Breakers. Okay, and then we had another pick. Linebacker, UT Chattanooga, Dale Warren. Outside linebacker. So the end of round 3. So far, are there any names that you think stand out to you that have been drafted so far? And yes, that is the TJ Logan who was on the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. That is correct. So we're on to round 4. Having a pretty solid time. Joe, you coach lacrosse? You know I'm a huge lacrosse guy. How do I put a thumbnail on a live video that's currently streaming? Do they just like not let you do that? I'm so terrible with technology, I don't even know. Do we get a quarterback yet? I saw a comment. All right, going back to Twitter, updating. Joe, if I may ask, what position in lacrosse do you play? Still waiting on round 4. Also, let me know if I should do like maybe live streams more often. Probably have to get better internet before I do that, but we don't know if Luis Perez is in the pool. We do not. I'd love to see Luis Perez come out here and sling it again. And it's surprising because Luis Perez played, was it for the Joust? He played for the Jousters in the Spring League. You would have thought that Luis Perez would have been the first guy or one of the first quarterbacks. Like you would have thought that would have been a huge name. But unfortunately, we have not heard or seen from Luis Perez. How old is Luis Perez? Maybe he's just like getting to the point of his career he wants to call it quits. Okay, we have a fullback. Pittsburgh Maulers, Winston DeMel. So we've had a couple of fullbacks actually drafted already. And updating the draft order for you real quick. Maulers, Stallions, Gamblers, Breakers, Panthers, Generals, Stars, Bandits. I'm also working on getting like a co-host. It's kind of hard to do this on my own. Cool co-host. I'm trying to get somebody, someone who I know who lives near me so it can be like in person. And who has like different football knowledge that complements me well. One that we play off each other good. Joey Bosa. I should have him on for a stream again. Was anyone here during the Joey Bosa stream? That was fun. Maybe I should try to stream with some like USFL guys. Would y'all be interested in that? Maybe get Jordan Teamu or someone, or you know what I'm trying to do, or what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about reaching out to the USFL. I have so many video ideas, but getting video, like doing a tour of their office. Their office is nice. I want to get a tour of it. Yeah, the Maulers are definitely going to run the ball. That is like one thing you can count on. And like, Kyle Lauletta, I got to see more from him, I guess. You know, he saw time in the preseason. He was super hyped up coming out of college. He played really well in the Senior Bowl. And like, he got drafted in the 4th, 3rd round, mid-round pick. And he's been in the NFL for like a pretty good time. So he's like accomplished a lot. But how is he going to play when he's the starter? You know, no more backup ball. How is he going to fare? That's my real question. Okay, we have a couple of picks coming in. So from Kent State, the Birmingham Stallions select Nathan Hawley. Outside, that name sounds familiar. While I search him, I will also announce the next pick. The Houston Gamblers select an SEC talent, cornerback, Micah Abernathy from Tennessee. So we're getting a couple bigger school names. And Nate Hawley, yeah. I knew he sounded familiar. He won CFL Most Outstanding Rookie in 2019. Okay. Two-time first-team All-MAC in 14 and 15. What happened in his professional career? So he played in the CFL, bounced around with the Miami Dolphins, and was even on active roster. Okay, then he signed with the Toronto Argonauts, but would not register his contract due to a violation. Oh, okay. His brother's Nick Hawley. That's who it is. Nick Hawley played for the Houston Roughnecks. Okay, now looking up Micah Abernathy. Tennessee, Houston Gamblers fans. The safety. Preview. Trying to get Abernathy's profile real quick from NFL.com. Again, the internet's pretty slow. Checking back in for some questions. Thanks. Johnny Football, I don't think we will see Johnny Manziel. Highly doubt that. And I'm kind of tired of seeing Johnny Manziel. Okay, let's look at the strengths and weaknesses for Micah Abernathy. This is according to NFL.com. Well built with explosive athletic traits, big jump numbers with blazing 3-cone, timing at pro day, plays multiple positions, big, rangy enough for safety, athletic for slot, mirrors and man coverage with agile feet and smooth hips. Okay, so those are pretty good thing. Does not play with plus instincts, lacks awareness, so it looks like he needs to be coached up a little bit. Needs to get better at reading quarterbacks' eyes. Okay, this is a guy who needs to be coached up a little bit. Just needs some coaching. It seems like you got a raw talent here. All right, we have some more picks coming in. The New Orleans Breakers. I know we have some Breakers fans in the chat. Where are you at? So, Sharif Miller. A 4th rounder in 2019. You know what I've seen a lot with the USFL? They're getting a lot of guys who are drafted in like mid to even high rounds, more than I felt like I saw with any other league. Take a guy like Sharif Miller, a lot of practice squad players and guys who have been on active rosters like not too long ago. I mean, Miller had 7.5 sacks in his final season at Penn State. Sign me up. Sounds pretty good to me. Sean Williams from Navy going to the Michigan Panthers. Love to see service academy players, and especially in these leagues. Love to see it. Love to see it. If you think of a guy like Keenan Reynolds, if we have any Dragons fans out there, Keenan Reynolds was really fun to watch. Okay, and it looks like we're getting some more picks in. The Philly Stars have chosen a cornerback from Carthage, Amani Dennis. I do not know much about him. Okay, and we got Keith Mumphrey, wide receiver from Michigan State. And he's back. Okay, this is this the Keith Mumphrey who is he? Didn't he already play with Okay, wait. Let's figure this out real quick. Did he play with the Battlehawks? Yes. So he played with the Battlehawks with Jordan Teamu. I wonder if Jordan Teamu had input on that pick, Bandits fans. If you can have a wide receiver that you gel with to start off the season, you know, maybe he was a late addition. Yeah, I'm getting that protein in. All right. Waiting on some more picks. We'll see how many rounds we go. I mean, I know a lot of people are probably getting bored because, to be quite frank, a lot of these guys are smaller school guys. We haven't seen the big names that we maybe thought we would see. But hey, you know what? For the love of the game. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're on YouTube to get like tons of views and you're not doing it for the love. You just gotta do what you're passionate about, and then hopefully people will follow. That's how I see it. I just like covering weird sports. I'm a lacrosse guy and an alternative football league guy. Nick said he wouldn't play for the USFL. Who said he wouldn't play for the USFL? Nick? Nick who? Oh, Nick Hawley. He was pretty solid with the Houston Roughnecks. End of round 4, off to round 5. It's 7:03 my time. I really need a haircut. It's getting a little long. Antonio Brown. Would y'all like to see Antonio Brown in the USFL? Did y'all see the video I made about that? He got called up. He would have been a bandit. Imagine Antonio Brown and bandit ball. Would you pay to see Antonio Brown? I would. It would be fun. Right? Am I right? I think Antonio Brown would be awesome to watch. Quick run through of round 4. We'll start with pick 1 going down. Winston Dimmel, the Antonio Brown and Colin Kaepernick. I'll get to that in a minute after I go through here. Fullback, Nathan Hawley, brother of Nick Hawley, I think. Yes, definitely brother. So Nick Hawley is an XFL guy. Nathan Hawley played outside linebacker, safety, and he will be with Birmingham Stallions. The third pick, Micah Abernathy, cornerback, Houston Gamblers. Sharif Miller, a Penn State guy. Defensive end, going over to the Breakers. It's another Power 5 talent to the Breakers, by the way, on the defensive line. Defensive end, especially. Sean Williams, Michigan Panthers at number 5. Paris Ford, safety, New Jersey Generals. Amani Dennis to the Philly Stars. And then finally, Keith Mumphrey reuniting with the one, the only, Jordan Teyamu. So it's going to be crazy to see the hype with Teyamu. More picks coming in. Artavius Lynn from TCU. He's a tight end. So round 5 starts off with the Philly Stars. And AJ Green is still in the pool. He is still in the pool. I've gotten a lot of messages and questions about AJ Green. I mean, he said that he was in the pool, and if he hasn't been picked, then he's still there. Unless something else happened. Unless maybe another league approached him. Brock Miller, punter. Southern Utah going to the Generals. We did hear that we would be getting some punters and kickers going. So that's the Generals pick. Are there any players in the USFL? I know that we don't have complete rosters totally, but they're starting to get rounded out. Are there any players in the USFL that you would like to see me get interviews with in the mini camps, in the camps? I'll wait for your responses down below. Because if you request players, I'll try to get them. I assume everybody wants to hear about the quarterbacks. But again, if you subscribe to my channel, we're going to be at these camps and we're going to be able to see these quarterback battles. I'm going to be able to give you actual real coverage, which is exciting, and the lowdown during the camps. So I think that's something to definitely look forward to in the future. Maybe even coaches, if they let us interview coaches. Oh, wow. Michigan Panthers. Michigan Panthers. See, a lot of these names are recent. Cameron Scarlett from Stanford, the running back. I think that's a pretty good pick. Kind of coming off the era, Stanford, one after another, Stanford had just incredible running backs. And, Scarlett kind of came. It was like one of the, if my memory serves me correct, could be a little fuzzy. But Scarlett kind of was like one of the last guys, I feel like. Didn't he graduate in 2021? Maybe it was up and down. That's the thing with Stanford is they've kind of just been really bad lately. And I have to do more research on him, but he's definitely a player who is familiar and who was pretty solid at Stanford. But they just, as a team, started to roll out. Yep, we're seeing more kickers and punters. So Tyler Rossa, he played in the XFL. I know that name. What team, though? What team? If anyone can answer without looking up. I'm going to guess Battlehawks. No. Was it? Yes, I'm guessing the Battlehawks. No, he played for DC. Dang it. I would have been really impressed if I knew that. Okay, we have a cornerback from Central Methodist going to the Pittsburgh Maulers, Malcolm Elmore. Malcolm Elmore, safety and corner, going over to Pittsburgh. That's round 5, pick 37. Pittsburgh Maulers. We should be rounding out this part of the draft pretty soon. We have the Breakers coming up next. So the Breakers are on the clock. Yeah, you'd have to pay someone like Reggie Bush and Chris Johnson, Tom Brady. Probably have to pay them a couple of the millions, a couple big ones. I would love to see it, though. I'm glad to see a guy like Tyler Rossa get picked, though. And this is why we can't have nice things. My Wi-Fi is on 1 bar. This is why we can't live stream anymore. The Wi-Fi is terrible here. Interview Jerron Jones? Hey, I'll do it. I'll do it, Joe. That's our first interview request. I'll try to get him. You know what? Isaiah Zuber. Dude, I watched Isaiah Zuber's highlights. He seems really good. That's what I'll say. I knew a little bit about him in college, but not too much. Oh, shoot. We got a bunch of picks in. All right. Ashari Crosswell from Arizona State to the New Orleans Breakers, a safety. Another guy in the secondary. We also have Devwa Whaley, running back, going to the Gamblers. So Gamblers updating their pick, adding a running back to their roster. And then the Birmingham Stallions do the same. They add Jordan Chun from Troy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan Chun played for Troy when Troy beat LSU on homecoming at LSU. That wasn't too long ago. I do like the Jordan Chun pick. I see Birmingham Stallions fans commenting on Twitter that a tight end is needed. I think maybe Birmingham is like the team that would, people keep talking about AJ Green. Maybe Keith Mumphrey. Okay. Maybe Birmingham is a team that could use more wide receiver depth and tight end depth. Keep seeing comments about that. We had some picks roll in. That brings us to the end of round 5. I'll just stay on for round 6. We've got a steak waiting on me in the fridge that I got to warm up. Steak, spinach, and rice. All about that health grind. You know what I'm saying? Got to eat healthy. Interview Keith Mumphrey. I'm going to write these down so I don't forget. I know I can probably slide into their DMs when they're Birmingham and possibly do like a live stream or maybe even do post in our community tab what questions you want answered, and then I can film it, do like a little cool interview setup and just see where we go. Thank you, Chansey. Appreciate it. It's been weird. I've been approached a couple times just out of nowhere, like in random places. And they're like, do I know you from somewhere? And I don't like make the connection because I'm by no means like a big YouTuber. I'd say I'm like small or medium or whatever, but and as someone asked me to like take pictures with them, I was really thrown off. Kind of cool, kind of weird too. But I guess that's how it be. How it be. It would be cool to go into broadcasting. If the USFL takes off or just one of these spring leagues takes off, definitely I'm going to try and get a job broadcasting for them or analyzing or something. I feel like I've earned it. I've been with so many of these leagues. Stream freaking out. The World Lacrosse Games is in Alabama this summer. I'm volunteering for the World Cross Games, actually. I'm very excited. Big lacrosse guy. Do you watch wrestling out of football? I don't really watch wrestling. I like UFC. I like MMA. MMA is sick. Man, I wish I could also keep this channel and do the lacrosse channel. But it's just so much. Still waiting on round 5, or round 6. Highlights of round 5. I'll go ahead and go through there. I think that running backs kind of came out of nowhere. You had 2 big names. Cameron Scarlett to the Michigan Panthers, and then I would say Jordan Chun. So, big running back names in depth there. Running backs for running backs for the Birmingham Stallions, guys. Tony Brooks James from Oregon. CJ Marable. Dude was really good with Coastal Carolina. Adding Jordan Chun to the mix. That could be pretty dangerous. Let's check over. I want to hear running backs that you think the best running back rooms, in the USFL. Y'all go ahead and comment down below best running back rooms so far. So which teams do you think have the best running backs? I think you can make a case for New Jersey headed with Mike Weber and Trey Williams. Williams has been a solid back. And then Mike Weber was a name I didn't expect to see. Came out of nowhere. Michigan Panthers adding Cameron Scarlett. They already had Reggie Corbin and Stevie Scott. Those 2 guys are solid. What about Garrett Groshek and Devion Smith? I was surprised when I saw Devion Smith drop so far. If you watch Devion Smith with the Vipers and their backfield, the Vipers' backfield was incredible. I really loved what I saw from him. I think that they probably have they could have the strongest backfield. I do think that Maulers in Birmingham maybe really strong. Travion McMillan was a stud running back at Virginia Tech and didn't get a chance with Pittsburgh Steelers. He should get another chance. I did see some stuff on McMillan. Yeah, people keep talking about the Fleet helmet, man. Now, this is a replica helmet. See, it's got the little, like you can't actually put it on. But I think that the running backs are going to be exciting. All right. Round 6 of the USFL supplemental draft has started. Starting with the Birmingham Stallions. Number 2, the Houston Gamblers. Number 3, the New Orleans Breakers. Number 4, the Pittsburgh Maulers. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Bandits. Number 6, the Michigan Panthers. Number 7, the New Jersey Generals. And number 8, the Philadelphia Stars. So with the Stallions on the clock, are they going to pick wide receiver or tight end? That is a good question. That's where I feel like Stallions. Oh, wait, no, the Stallions. No, I'm getting mixed up. The Stallions need more tight ends? No, I don't think so. Let me check in. Well, even if they have 2, it might be smart to have 3. So another thing that I'm kind of worried about is the size of the rosters aren't necessarily the biggest, but, we'll see. Yeah, they definitely need a tight end, I think. Unless they just don't use tight ends. You never know. One thing that I think that the USFL is doing well that's pretty unique and cool. First of all, a lot of these coaches are extremely offensive minded. That I think was done strategically. Fox knows what they're doing. They want high scoring. They want a lot of points. I wonder if they honestly feels kind of bad saying this, but what if they drafted worse defensive players on purpose, or in the pool, they didn't want the best defensive players to kind of rig the offenses? That would be terrible if they did that. But still waiting on the Stallions pick. And the Stallions pick a tight end. Sage Surratt? Okay, Wake Forest. I know this guy. Drink up for Sage Surratt. Let's go. Okay, I think that's a really good pick. Definitely a name I know, and he's pretty recent at Wake Forest. But that's kind of what I said. Is okay, kind of gotta pick a tight end now. Looking over at the Gamblers roster. Let me check in on the Gamblers. Do y'all know what the Gamblers need right now? Okay. They kind of picked all over the place. They picked a running back. They got tight ends. Gamblers looking ahead of the game. Picked a good bit in the secondary and along basically the line is where they pick. Maybe linebacker. Could go defense here. Or maybe another wide receiver. Yeah, maybe wide receiver. They got Zuber. JoJo Ward out of Hawaii. This is also another good. See, I feel like this receiving group, or the receiving groups in the USFL, I feel like they're really, really strong. What about y'all? How do y'all think that the receiving groups in the USFL compare to the XFL and the AAF? What do y'all think? Think about it. If John Ross was a star in the Alliance of American Football, and he hasn't even been picked in the USFL. And that's just crazy to me. Is that not crazy to y'all? I don't know. There are some guys who are like Dantes Bird. Like, you would think, like, you think some of these guys would be picked by now. But is there something we don't know? Like, is Keenan Reynolds not in the draft, man? I love Keenan Reynolds. Maybe they're just trying to go for young, more different wide receivers, more raw wide receivers. Rashad Ross, yeah. I keep saying that. I don't know why I keep messing up on his name. Okay, still waiting on the pick from the Gamblers. Sure are taking their sweet time. Okay, they go long snapper. I'm going to be totally real. That's not too exciting of a pick. Tucker Addington, the long snapper. But man, if I could go to the NFL and be a long snapper, I would do that. We have the Breakers on the clock. New Orleans fans. Definitely strength of this team. Pass rush. I feel like they're going to have a nasty pass rush. I can't wait to watch it. Yes. Let's go back to Rashad Ross. How in the world has he not been picked? Like, think about that. I mean, he was a star in the Alliance of American Football. Was pretty good in the XFL, but like his quarterback play was rough, up and down. And like, I get that, like, yeah, XGU, bringing up a good point. He may be older, but we heard that the USFL was going for younger guys, yet they've drafted older players. Like, are they just being nitpicky with certain positions? Yeah, Cam Phillips, another great example. When the XFL folded, we thought that Cam Phillips was destined for the NFL. I mean, we really did. Is Cam Phillips in the draft? That's also tough because we don't really know. But like, he would be a player who I'd be like, yes, I'm drafting him immediately. So I am wondering, what's kind of going on. Maybe the USFL does have talent that is really, really good. And we just like, it's weird because they didn't have tryouts and camps. So it's kind of just going in blind. And like, how do you evaluate these guys when they haven't played significant snaps for a really long time? It's really tough. All right, we have another pick. Multiple picks. E.J. Bibbs from Iowa State. Tight end and fullback. And that's a name that actually sounds pretty familiar. He's one of the Breakers. So we'll check out the Breakers tight ends real quick. So they have Sal Cannella. And let's see. New Orleans. So they've had some pretty good picks tonight, in my opinion. But this is the second tight end that they've picked in the supplemental. So that's third tight end for the Breakers tonight, or second tonight, third overall. Perfect example. EJ Bibbs is 30 years old. So, like, you know, they're signing and drafting older players. So, you know, where's Ross at? Where's Bird at? Heck, I know, like AJ Green, I felt like. Well, maybe there's something we don't know. The Pittsburgh Maulers pick is in. It's Abdul Beecham from Kansas State. He is a guard. So, offensive line. Nothing much you need to say about that. Super important. And guys, I think I'm going to sign off probably after this round ends. I do got to eat and make videos for tomorrow because we had an XFL coach. Try to get that in the camera. XFL coach leaked. We had XFL new hires that are incredibly important that we got to talk about. We have the whole USFL NFT thing going on, which I know that people have their opinions on NFTs. I'm going to explain why maybe you should hold back a bit on the criticism of the NFTs. But if those NFTs get out of hand, which kind of is what happened with fan-controlled football, you know, then you can complain. But I will say this. I like the NFT ideas if they do it right. If they do it right. In terms of that, it's fan experience. Who here would not like to have what I was describing earlier, a fan experience where you buy that NFT, maybe you bid on it, you get to meet the team, you get to meet the coaches, you get to meet executives from the USFL, get like a day at the office kind of thing, almost like an owner's pass. I mean, come on. Doesn't that sound sick? Maybe get like a real uniform. That would be an NFT I would buy. Couple more picks here as I was talking. Tampa Bay Bandits selecting Stephen Griffin, the cornerback / safety from NC State. Bandits fans, another Division I pick, big school like NC State. We're going a little bit smaller to Stony Brook. Michigan Panthers adding tight end Connor Davis. Starting to see a lot of tight ends being picked. Here, Michigan Panthers from Stony Brook, round 6. Philadelphia Stars from Tennessee State, wide receiver Chris Rowland. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Stars have selected, I feel like, the most wide receivers here. And then we have Darius Victor from Towson. Darius Victor was with the New York Guardians. If I am not wrong on that, I'm pretty sure. Yes. It was pretty good too. So there's a guy, you know, like Darius Victor, running back, New York Guardians. He's seen a small school, Towson, like football wise, like, you know, Towson's not necessarily a powerhouse. Pretty solid back, 28 years old. So he is a little old, but he wasn't bad with the Guardians, right? No. And I like that pick. I do. I really do. So when you look at the running backs for the New Jersey Generals, see a lot of depth there now. Mike Weber, Trey Williams, Darius Victor. That's pretty strong. Do they have any more that were drafted that I'm missing? Yes. Love the Darius Victor pick. I think that's an excellent late round pick. See, we're seeing some gems. Okay, I said I would stop at round 6, but now I'm starting to feel it. Let's highlight. Okay, we're going to highlight some players who I think were really good picks. All right, starting off in the round, Birmingham Stallions. I like Sage Surratt. I think that's a good pick at tight end. I really do. And I think that that's something that the Stallions definitely needed. More depth at. And what we're starting to see is, I mean, we had 1, 2, 3 tight ends picked in this round, and we've seen a lot of tight ends being picked in the supplemental draft already. So I'm loving it so far. How about maybe EJ Bibbs, another tight end / fullback? They might do that with Bibbs. That would make sense. If he's listed also as a fullback, maybe they aren't planning to use him at tight end because they already have 2. He could be that third tight end in case something happens. And how about Darius Victor? Anyone who watched the XFL, do y'all remember Darius Victor with the New York Guardians? And we're creeping up onto 2 hours on the stream. Doesn't feel like it. Kind of feels like it's been 20 minutes. But we rolling. We rocking. And we have our first pick. Offensive guard from Merrimack, Eric Brown. Now, I do know what Merrimack is. Only because I watch college lacrosse. Eric Brown played in the CFL. Okay, cool. Speaking of, gotta check some scores real quick. I think UVA and Carolina are playing right now, and I do want to see that score. No, this isn't a lacrosse channel, but I love lacrosse. Updating. So, gamblers, let me know how we're feeling so far. Oh, that's a good game. All right, we have another pick. That's another long snapper. Tucker Bernard from San Diego State. Long snapper. He will be going to the New Orleans Breakers. And then we have the Maulers on the clock. The Stallions, the Stars, the Bandits, the Panthers, and the Generals following. And this will be my last round. We're starting to lose people. We're starting to get into the really deep parts of the rosters where not everyone really knows the names. Again, y'all comment what y'all are excited to see. Maybe comment what type of content you'd like to see. Content for that possibly for the preseason. I will be at the opener as well. Probably wearing one of my hoodies that says End Zone, so you'll know it's me. Don't be afraid to say hi. All right, Pittsburgh Maulers, your pick is in, and it looks like Pittsburgh Maulers have decided to go with special teams. Ramiz Ahmed from Nevada, kicker. Round 7, pick 51. So we could be seeing some special teams competition. Competition everywhere is of the utmost importance. I'm disappointed. I was supposed to be I was thinking about actually live streaming the real draft day one, but I was actually planning on being at the draft. That, however, did not work out. It's really my fault. I contacted the USFL way too late. They could have gotten me a pass maybe, but it was just way too late. And here we go. Okay, this is what you like to see from the Stallions. Talking about wide receivers, Marlon Williams from Central Florida. So Stallions fans, you're packing on with a really important, in my opinion, wide receiver pick. Definitely needed more depth there. Geez, I think that the USFL really, I think, is important that the Birmingham Stallions are a successful team. They want to get fans in the stands. That's also part of the problem is, point man zero. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, to get these teams ready that quickly. It always is with these spring leagues, and that's kind of always how it has been. It's a short turnaround, let's just say that. Expect what we see in a lot of spring football. Simple. KISS. You ever watch The Office? Keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes that's probably what they're going to have to do. We've seen no quarterbacks, man. No quarterbacks. But yeah, it's going to be tough to get guys ready really quickly. It's tough to do it with the Alliance American Football. Tough to do it with the XFL. It's going to be tough to do it with the USFL. And if Major League Football is able to get their stuff together in time, which that's just going to be very difficult to do. I'm trying to be optimistic. I've talked to Frank Murtha multiple times, the CEO of the league. Oh, by the way, we have, looks like, another pick coming out of Nevada and going to the Philadelphia Stars, Gabriel Sewell Jr. So the Stars draft an inside linebacker out of Nevada. And is this a repeat pick? All right, Tucker Bernard. I think I already talked about him. Oh, that's awkward. Okay. Looks like the USFL social media got a guy's name wrong. It's either Turner Bernard or Tucker Bernard. There are two different graphics out. It looks like it's Turner Bernard, the long snapper. Breakers fans, don't worry, we got you covered. Oh, wow. Okay. Bandits. Once again, Bandit Ball. Rennell Hall. He's a name out of Central Florida. Played for the Browns, right? Wait, let me fact check this before I say it. Did he play? Yeah, 2015. Wow. See the connections there. And he also played in the CFL. I didn't know that. And he played with the Orlando Apollos. And the Tampa Bay Vipers. I love that pick. Corner. Rennell Hall. Okay. 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 Good pick. Good pick. Yeah, I'm surprised no quarterbacks have been taken too. Maybe there just weren't any in the draft pool. No, there were. That's not true. I'm also confused. Are they waiting? Michigan Panthers have selected Joseph Putu from Florida, the cornerback. Panthers make their selection. And that corner from Florida. For me so far, the draft, and we're at the Panthers, so we're at the last pick, and after this pick, I'm logging off. I got to work on tomorrow's videos. Okay, and then offensive guard, offensive tackle, Robert Myers from Tennessee State. Thank you all for watching. It's been very fun. That we made it to round 7. It's been 2 hours. Got 3 more rounds to go, but we haven't seen. We've seen a couple pretty big names. I'd say that Rennell Hall is going to be the winner. I think the best pick so far of this round 7. But I'd love to know your opinions down below in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're out there, move the chains.